Back with another one. Another question and answers. My cat's going crazy. But yeah, we back in another episode. Just some question and answers. Wait for some people to roll in. Be in this thing for about an hour. Just another stop and chat session. And we gon' get it on. You eat dirt from me. It's back when Drake was that savage. I'm telling y'all, man. When they say current bit rate lower than what? Tell me something. I don't know what the fuck this mean. That shit say green. But I do it too. Been in this thing for about an hour. Man, I might do 2 hours today. It's Friday. I don't know if people got shit. What people doing. It's Corona Fridays. I don't know if niggas be going out getting sick and shit.
Find ourselves in this situation. I just get the feeling like me used to candy switching colors and light. It's about like 11 p.m. Nigga just rolling through the city. Big Mo, UGK, Lil Kiki. I feel like everything just moving slow. Let's take my time.
Take my time.
I pace it, baby. Yeah. I'm gone.
That shit funny. I looked on YouTube and Flightbus doing the question and answer. It's like trying to throw a party at 2 different times. But people weren't gonna show up to my shit no way. Nah, that shit funny. I'm trying to get my shit like Flightbus. One of the shit masters on YouTube. Nigga be running YouTube, no bullshit. Who y'all be watching on YouTube for spiritual content? Let me know something. I'm gonna start asking y'all questions shit. That shit funny. I didn't share the post. I'm tripping. I can't get over you. Oh me, I want your I love me ocean. So different from me. Just hold on. Just hold on. I don't know if I should have came on earlier or later. I love the emotion endlessly. Now I didn't know I'm a big Drake fan, so I gotta let this rock. You are so different from me. Ask me anything, man. Y'all know I'm here with the spiritual knowledge, but shit, we can talk politics too. We can talk day-to-day shit. It really don't matter. I'm gonna do a shout out to somebody. Sent me a cash app last week or I believe from last episode, and I ain't even mentioned my cash app, so I really shout out to her. I'm about to see who it was right quick. Shout out again to some other people getting here. Alyssa Baker. Shout out to Alyssa Baker. She sent 25 of them bad boys. 25 of them. I'm, hey, big happy for that. Big appreciate it. If I had to vote, who would I pick? Kanye, goddammit. I'm picking Kanye. I ain't voting for the pedophile, and I ain't voting for Trump either. I couldn't even. I obviously would vote for Trump. Like, there's no way in hell I'm voting for Biden. Like, not from the. Like, I've visibly seen Biden touching on kids, harassing kids. Like, I know Trump racist. I know shit, but I know Biden racist as well. So. When it comes to the lesser evils, technically Trump is, but yeah, I'm not voting for no pedophile, man. At least what I believe to be a pedophile. He showed extreme behaviors of being one. So now I couldn't vote for him at all. And then, like I say, Trump a part of that shit too. So that shit is really a travesty either way. They gonna run it back. Why can't I troll and talk about your looks? I'm salty. What you mean? Why can't you? I'm gonna fire your ass up. I'm gonna put your baby picture. Don't start with me. But y'all go check out our podcast, Forbidden Fruit. It's on YouTube. I have guidelines. Aha. What kind of guidelines? I don't know about these guidelines. I don't know. I had to look into that. I don't know how to work this live shit. But yeah, y'all check out our podcast, Forbidden Fruit. We got one episode, another one coming soon. The hell was that noise? Yeah, and plug you is only 2 people in here. And you one of them. That one person might pull up though. Hey, y'all go check out the Don Tarot. Y'all need some internal work, some internal therapy done. Shit, a little bit of all that. All you gotta do is, it's kind of similar. It's a question and answer. You got a question that's been on your mind. She can read the cards. She can read your energy. She can pull something out of there to help you out. So y'all go check her out. But yeah, I got the plugs on the way. I at least want 4 or 5 people to be in here. Oh, that shit funny. But I appreciate the 2 people that did pull up, cause y'all could have been doing something else, you know. I appreciate the love. I'm about to be super childish. I'm about to be super childish and be like, go and send me some cash up. You asked me 2 questions. That shit's fucking hilarious. It's all jokes. People gonna be like, damn, you asking niggas like that? Y'all 2 people, y'all share this. Go share this to Facebook. It's somebody that ain't doing shit on y'all Facebook, on y'all Twitter, on y'all Instagram. Y'all wanna listen to some riffraff? I really only see Future that's worth listening to. Like I'm gonna have to stand this thing 2 hours to get some people in here. I do it. I better sleep all goddamn day anyways. Cities and Paula's and Rico's, man. You know where I came from. Back in that action. Don't tell me back with that action. Why Chop not slopped up by another here? I gotta find some more music. Fumping that bitch in the hood. I'm over here looking at spiritual questions. These hoes are not spiritual questions. These hoes asking more about society. I'm over here looking up questions to just answer on my own. I guess that could be spiritual. I don't give if they was real sisters. It's a best friend. I don't give a fuck. I done fell in love with that limbo. You walking like a zombie. Murder. Future used to go crazy though. I mean, he still go crazy, but Future was going crazy at one point in time. That nigga was non-stop and everything was fire. That nigga, I don't know if I can't even say he slept on him, but that nigga crazy. Alright, I think I got a question. What was it? I answer like one question every little while. Where was it? Where was it? Ah, this is a good one. I can sit on this one for a while too. What is the key to maintaining balance in your life? For me, I had to first start understanding really who I was. I mean, that's obviously the first part. Cause I mean, you have certain aspects of yourself that you really be denying when you really just don't understand yourself for the majority of your life, honestly. So what it took for me to really find balance, honestly, was spirituality for the most part, because I had so many questions, and through those questions, they helped me understand the world better and helped me understand how to move better. I'm trying to think, because balance goes so deep. What else? Just understanding the essential things that you need in life, or what I needed in life to keep me going, whether it's money, whether it's friendship, whether it's just having a certain type of mentality where it's not going out and stuff like that. Just whatever I needed to do to understand my basic needs, because that was a big part of having to find balance. If you don't have your basic necessities down, it's like it's hard to focus on the big picture. That's why they say you get stuck in survival mode and stuff like that. So that was a big part of finding balance and being able to be focused on my goal to a certain extent. But another time in life where I didn't have balance is where I lost vision of the big picture and things like that. And it was real hard to find balance, because that's like them days you just living like day to day in a sense. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it's just it's not even necessarily a moody thing, but you just kind of following trends because you really don't know what to do in life in a sense. So I can say I was there at one point in my life, especially before I got knowledge. So that point in life I had lost a lot of balance and just was drinking. And even with my freshman year in college, when I went to a sorry ass school and I had football was my biggest dream, like start drinking more and stuff like that, because the vision felt like it was getting further and further away. So that was another time I lost balance, when I didn't have that clear picture of what I wanted to be. But over time I just kept that's when I started questioning life and questioning myself more. And then once I found myself, I was able to build a bigger picture for myself, and honestly started gaining balance in life. Because it's like, if you really want to get to this goal or these things that you want to that you say you want to get to, you can't be imbalanced. Like, that's just gonna slow you down for the most part. Like, there's really no other way to say it. So and sometimes it's like, during the path of life, you have to focus on your physical life more. Sometimes you gotta dive into the spiritual life more. And at different phases, the physical life made me lose balance, and then at different phases, the spiritual life and not the lack of understanding, it made me lose balance as well in certain aspects. So yeah, it's many ways to find balance, because we are a multi-layered being, for sure. I'm trying to think of some other things that help with balance. I mean, it's a lot of small things I could point to, like just having little sages that you can find for yourself that can help you just release and stuff like that. Obviously, most people use weed and other herbs like actual sage, but there's other things you can do. People paint, people write, people do poetry. All these different things are releases. I make videos. There's many different ways to try to attain balance, and in many different stages you can find yourself. Some people lift weights and stuff like that, walk, jog, many different habits that people have in a sense that could help them. That's really what, not habits, hobbies. But yeah, hobbies are a good way to have balance, because it's like, it help you. First of all, it's something that you like, so that's the number one thing. And then second of all, it help you kind of just zone out and do something that you like for a change, and just, I guess, entertain or develop yourself in a sense. So that's really what hobbies kind of help you do in a sense. So yeah, it's many different things. But the problem in this society is like, that kind of make it hard for balance, is like, we will want a hobby, but like, it's hard to have hobbies because if it's not making money, it's like, it's pulling away from the main goal, especially when we just don't have a lot of to begin with. So we end up trying to make our hobby something that we can make money off of, and it's like, that puts stress on the hobby, and now it ain't as just fun as doing it no more. So you gotta just kind of be aware of that in this society, or in this life that we live now, to just protect your hobbies, protect your sages in a sense. Well, yeah, we definitely get caught up in that easy. Thinking of some other things. I just rant on balance and that question till anybody else pull up. Other ways to get balance. I mean, there's all different forms of just having to take care of yourself, and then things that's really an extension of self. But sometimes it ain't. Well, I guess it ain't always about the extensions of stuff, but I guess everybody different. I should say. Some people really find balance in just taking care of other people outside them. If that's who you really are, I mean, do you? But just make sure that you always in a stable foundation. Because if you're not in a stable foundation, that means you can't take care of other people anymore. And then now you're not having balance because you can't do the thing that you love to do. So it always stems from self. You always got to end up still taking care of yourself, even to do the things that you want to do. If that's pleasing people outside of yourself or helping people outside of yourself. So can't never really forget about yourself. So if you do that, you're gonna always start losing balance. Another way to start losing balance is just focusing on external things, and like a lot of times that's not an extension of you. Cause that's easy. That, like I said, how I used to get caught up in trendy things. People, it's easy for the masses. It's easy for the masses to do that, cause we literally see the Jones effect happen every day in society. But yeah, seeking power from external things, that'll definitely lose balance. You'll start not having balance for sure.
Hold it down, then boys be chop stars, OG ones.
I thought people would be in this thing. It's late. It's Friday. Let me find that child out there just turning up. That's probably what it is. I'll try to come on earlier next time. But I'll be back on this weekend too. Maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday. But I don't know. I really haven't made my schedule for this weekend yet, so we'll see. But I definitely be back next Tuesday, for sure. Tuesdays and Thursdays. The reason I'm doing it today, I had my brother's football game yesterday, so we're gonna knock these out. This how really, bro, chop and screw made everything hit. I thought I had some other songs.
Sound came from H-Town. Remember the creator of all this slow down music, DJ Chakra, the real king of the South. So watch your damn mouth. We gon' always stay chopped up and not slaughtered around here, man.
You always got a bunch of energy. A bunch of energy. Boy, chopped and screwed and turned this on to a classic. I can't wait till this election over though. I'm so goddamn tired of this goddamn conversations and talks. Even though it still may not end till later than November 3rd, cause all this mailing and shit. But I'll be so damn happy when all this done, this shit over with. I've been on. What's up, man? Y'all ask me anything. Whatever type of questions, especially spiritual. Whether it's about transformation, breaking life cycles, whatever, Holmes. What was I about to do? Oh, something to do. Fuck, I forgot. Oh, I'm about to change the song. My ass. Go long. Bitch, nigga, go long. Yeah, I get off at 11. See what it's about. Might catch a few flies. What y'all doing for Halloween? I ain't even got shit playing. I don't even think about this shit no more. That shit funny. Y'all check out the podcast, Absolutely Unsure, me and my boy D-Fran. Check out my other podcast with the Don Taro Forbidden Fruit. That's on YouTube. We only got one episode out so far, but we coming with more soon. Don't sleep on us. Don't sleep on us. Can we use more than 10% of our brain? Yeah, I don't even know if we use 10%. I mean, that's what they tell us. But I don't know what makes them say we use 10%. Like, what are they measuring the 10% off of, you know? Like, how do you measure the percentage of how powerful the brain could potentially be versus where we're at? So I don't know if we even use 10%, if we're being honest. But I definitely think we can always upgrade our mind. With DMT, that's the biggest example. Like, every time you take DMT, your levels rise and stay at that level. And I look at that the same way, how the brain will kind of work. Like, we can just keep elevating in certain senses, and then when you take certain drugs or even just reading and stuff, man, people can get hella smart, man. We got people, we're literally aliens. So it's hard to say that we only use 10%. Like, this whole world is completely built from our imagination, from planes to cars to the things that we use to get the oil out the ground to the microwaves to all this little shit that we have came from our mind. So it's like, I mean, if that's 10%, if we only use the 10% and we gotten this far, I mean, that's fucking amazing. But I think we can. I think we've been either, if you look into like past like the regular history, they tell us the 6,000, 10,000 years. It's been even examples of shit that we had spaceships and shit before. I think we do. I mean, I think we do. I think we do use more than 10% of our brain. But I think there's times in history where we shown that we can use that much. Like, people that had spaceships, like we have spaceships now and shit supposedly, but like we got some crazy shit. Like, there's no way in hell we're not aliens, and we can't manipulate this world. If we can manipulate this world, it's only a testament of where our mind is. So yeah, I believe we use 10% or more. My next question to that would be like, who would be like the example of somebody that used 10% or more? And then they kind of go back into the genius conversation like that we had on the last question and answer. I think someone like Michael Jackson, obviously, someone like LeBron, Michael Jordan, like obviously somebody like Tesla. But I guess with the brain, because I kind of would be tying your spirit into that too, because that's another part of us being big. But I don't know, man. I really don't. I would have to meet the people in person and really know how like powerful their mind was. I know how powerful they ultimately was, but I don't know how powerful they actually mind was. But I think people could use more than that. It just reminded me of I Am Lucy. Like how she started to like when she was like at like I'm trying to think when she was like at 15%, she was like able to see like certain radio rays and frequencies and stuff like that. And I know we could develop ourselves to be able to see auras and see different energies off of people, especially being able to feel them. So that may be an example of us using, if somebody can see spiritual things like spiritual energy, spiritual auras, or frequencies, that may be an example of us using more than 10%. I'm trying to think what other things that Lucy could do. I mean, she could obviously speak more than one language on point, so anybody that can speak more than one language, they probably using more than 10% of their brain. I'm trying to think of some other examples. What's playing? Hold on. I gotta find something else. I'm still thinking.
I'm gonna start dropping this shit ahead of time so boys know this be exclusive. Feel me, man?
But what else was I saying? Yeah, so the being able to speak more than one language, and then that would be able to also probably going into being able to play more than one instrument, because that requires different. I would say that requires different parts of the brain. And the development of it. It's like, how much does what percentage does a baby use of his brain? Because obviously a baby develops his brain. So you telling me it only develops it to 10%? I don't think so. If it only develops it to 10%, that's because it's the teaching fault and the environment fault. But the baby show that it could, babies and toddlers showing that they can learn multiple languages. Like, if you've met some of the amazing kids in this world that's had good teachers, mentors, and been in good environments, like, they're brilliant, and they kind of stay brilliant. So I'm pretty sure that if we really was working on ourselves and developing our kids from a youth, like, yeah, I damn sure think we could use more than 10. Well, I'm trying to think of some other examples of using more than 10%. Being able to see in the future, like, I know for a fact that's using, being a visionary. People take that for granted, don't really think that's real, but people can really see into the future, and it's not hard, because this was what I was gonna initially say. Being able to recognize patterns, I think that you could be able to you'll be using more than 10%. Because if you can recognize patterns, like, man, you could be so good at just honestly building yourself and manipulating this world, because everything kind of operates off patterns, in a sense. So, but being able to see in the future, being able to be a visionary, like, I think that's a part of being able to use more than 10% of your brain, because you just see people like that and how they operate. They're ahead of everybody, like, literally, like just how they think, how they create, how they move. Like, you can see the difference between somebody that don't have that same vision. So I would have to give them some way of saying that's using more than 10% of your brain, for sure. And then I also would say having some type of idea, like I said, of I don't know how to really tie in the past, but if you could truly understand the past and see how we got here, you got to have more than 10%, because that's a lot to understand, and most people wouldn't really understand that shit. Like, that's a big argument in the first place. How did we get here and stuff like that? Most people can't answer that question truthfully, because they can't really just look at history, with a holistic view. Usually they biased, or some shit like that. But yeah, being holistic, I should say, then that's being able to see in the present, future, and past. You got to be using more than 10% of your brain doing that. Because that even implies you're using the right hemisphere, the left hemisphere, and then have the connectivity of like the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, and other glands like that. And if you got all that type of connectivity, you have to be able to be using more than 10%. And then for the fact when we talk about the pineal gland even be able to be, what do they call, calcified and stuff like that. If something can be calcified in your brain, you're definitely not using all of your potential. And the fact that as we decalcify it, we can have better focus, clearer dreams. Man, it's a lot of things. A lack of our anxiety go down when you start decalcifying your pineal gland. Your intuition goes up as you start to decalcify your pineal gland. Your psychic power starts to rise as you start to decalcify and really upgrade it, because you can upgrade it as well. You don't have to just decalcify. You can also supply with nutrition with different things. So when you think about that, that's another way to raise your brain up in the percentage level. And this made me think about Goku and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's definitely people at different levels. Like, it's definitely higher than 10%. And then really we could look at 10% like 100%, because it's still 1 out of 10. If we really look at the play on that. But like I say, it's infinite, so 10% really don't mean nothing, because that 10% could be 100%. Honestly, it really could be 1,000%, because it's like, if we really knew how to measure the level, like I said, it would be like Goku. We could be able to be like, oh no, that person's off the radar, and we could see that. We be feeling that when we fucking talk to people or see people present their content to the world. We be like, nah, that person on some other shit. Like, you can feel it, and it's like you know it, and then it's like a feeling that you get, like just that you resonate with, and like, man, this person cold as hell. And if we had them readers on Dragon Ball Z and shit, I said Goku earlier. If we had them readers like on Dragon Ball Z to see people power level, we'll damn sure know that answer for sure. Well, I'm thinking what else. Like I said, yeah, if you're able to use and develop all the different departments or compartments in your mind, yeah, it's no way in hell you couldn't use more than 10%. Because even they say with our pituitary gland, like, it's many different supplements and stuff that we could take to develop that. And nobody talk about the pituitary gland. I forgot everything they do. I'm gonna slaughter how to fucking spell this word. Like I said, I damn sure can't spell. I hope I got close. Okay. I take some. Yeah. The partnership with the pineal gland and the pituitary gland provides a focus in the body temple for the nurturing of the spirit of the womb, and other names for the spiritual truth. I'm looking for more than that. Loss of vision, fatigue, weakness, headaches, sexual dysfunction, weight gain or loss. So yeah, loss of vision, that going to, I mean, do you need to say anything else with spirituality? Loss of vision. And then that's going to lead to fatigue. Like I said earlier, when you with balance and stuff like that, and when you start losing your vision, it's hard to have balance, because you just kind of living like living by the trends, like I said. Let's see. The endocrine glands produce hormones that help the body function optimally. Yogi Bhajan has said that glands are the guardian of health. Yeah, and a lot of times our glands be calcified or not as productive as they could be. So if we was able to get these glands going, yeah, we could easily see a higher percentage of our brain development, in a sense, or our use of it. The glands work with the nervous system, the endocrine system, and the chakra systems, and other glands in the organs. The pituitary gland is known as the master gland. nobody tells that. Everybody talks about the third eye, which is usually known as the pineal gland, but the pituitary gland sits right here, like I guess you would say behind your sinuses, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's the master gland. And for people to talk about spiritual development, nobody talk about the pituitary gland. So this is just another thing. Like if we was to develop that and really get down into the science of that, because the science is a lot of science out there, but they don't have it out there freely for us. But if they really broke down the science of the psyche or the psychic principles of that, man, we could go so far. But the master gland, as it controls the entire glandular system, which includes the thyroid, okay, they fucking with me today, adrenals, pancreas, and reproductive glands. It is located underneath the hypothalamus in the center of the brain, and it is the size of a bean. The pituitary is associated to, okay, they ain't really saying much, but with the chakra, aka the sixth chakra. Okay, cool. So let's look up the sixth chakra. Is in the area of the third eye, which is found in between the space between the eyebrows. It is encompassed of the pituitary gland, eye, head, and lower part of the brain. Just a fun fact, or it's just something if y'all want to know. How to open the sixth chakra. Close your ears with your thumbs and take deep inhalations and exhale the word with the emphasis on the creating that buzzing sound like a bee. This should be working, y'all. I'm telling y'all, do that shit. Trying to find a better breakdown of the sixth chakra. Damn, my nose got cold. Oh, it's the third eye. Oh, my sinus just got cold as hell when I breathed in. Got them big ass nostrils. Okay, it controls intuition, imagination, and wisdom. Like, that's why people always say their third eye open. And also you can contribute that to Doctor Strange as well. Who is this? That's probably somebody's shit. I just cut them off. Pardon me, pardon me. It's Halloween Eve. Happy Halloween's Eve, I guess you call it. Let's see. But yeah, I was saying it can help. Fuck. When it develops, 36 through 42. Well, that's too fucking long to be waiting, honestly, if you ask me. That's way too fucking long to be waiting to develop that chakra. You've already so you telling me you don't develop? This is such bullshit. I'm gonna tell you why. It says imagination, intuition, and wisdom. I can kind of understand the wisdom part, but you're telling me you don't gather imagination and intuition till you 36 and 42? Like, nah, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. And the reason I say that is because that's the perfect time for a child to develop all these things. Like, that's when they kind of absorb the most with these things. Whether they trust their intuition, whether they gather enough wisdom through experiences, whether their imagination is strong or not, kind of happens all in the child era. And then you say it's the yoga pose, the child pose. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not feeling that 36 to 42 year old, because it's like I kind of get, like I said, I kind of get it with wisdom, but bro, you can't wait to have imagination when you're 36 and 42. Like, hell fucking no. Hell fucking no. So yeah, but that's still not what I was looking for. But that was cool enough as far as just a few of the things with pituitary gland. I keep trying to scan through this. When the pituitary gland is weak, it can make a person feel lonely and disconnected from the world. Additionally, it is the pituitary that creates the bonding feeling during sex. The pituitary gland also has to do with our growth physically, spiritually, and intellectually. When the pituitary isn't mature, one could pretend to be someone they are not, as they are not grown up. Their inner being isn't aligned with the part they're shown. What did I say? Isn't aligned with the part they show the world, which is due to a lack of trust in their intuition. Like I said, a lot of that could be developed when you're in a child phase. And if you don't develop that or don't have the type of teachers or environment around you to help that become developed, yeah, you can go through all of your life just not trusting your intuition. And it's, once you doubt yourself, man, that's a Pandora box that's kind of hard to close. But it can be closed, don't get it twisted. But yeah, if you was as a kid and you was confident, you was taught confidence, you was taught to trust yourself and believe in yourself, yeah, it's a lot different than someone that wasn't and was always like shitted on, or someone was always told not to talk or not to believe in themselves or some shit like that, which happens all the time. But when a person, well, let me see, which is due to a lack of trust in their intuition. When a person doesn't trust their intuition and doesn't project their true self, it makes it harder to connect with others. So yeah, I definitely, just to basically sum up, yeah, you can definitely have more than 10%. You can definitely use more than 2% of your brain. Welcome around. Nigga like Juvie. Nigga was Juvie sitting out the we shoot out with. But yeah, all these have spiritual significance, and you can see how they're almost aligned with the chakras as well. But yeah, we can just get into it. Pineal gland controlling the point of unit of controlling the point of the unit entity. I'm trying to see what that means. I mean, as far as I know, wisdom is like the amount of wisdom or the lack of wisdom you have will dictate how you move on this earth. And your pineal gland, like I said, your pineal gland, your imagination will dictate how you move on this earth. Also, your intuition. So all those three things, and I'm sure it's a few other things that's, like I said, I'm not thinking of, or tie into the controlling point of your entity, and that makes the most sense, because depending on the development or the lack of development of that pineal gland, or like I said, imagination, intuition, or wisdom, you're that's gonna be basically how you move in life. So I get that. Well, let's see what else it has to say. This is a small gland that's in the brain. It loses all nerves connection except for a few. It's part of the eye, whatever. It's mature by the age of 5 and calcifies around puberty. And that's the thing, we can decalcify it. And if you had, like I said, the right people around you or the right environments around you, it would have never got calcified. The reason it got calcified is due to our what is that shit they inject us with when we were babies? Whatever those vaccines and shit like that. Then a lot of the food we take, even in some of the shit in our formula and shit like that, that shit's not healthy for us in the sense of keeping our glands open, which is, that goes into our spiritual principles as well. So that's why you see people get docile, like you say, around puberty and things like that, because even society can start to calcify that, because it's like, it's also going off of your because it's like a spark plug in a sense. Like when they talk about endorphins and things like that, like little endorphins that make you happy. Like what's that one thing that that's produced that makes happiness? I forgot what it's called. But like those sensors can go off due to a lack of use. Like that's just with anything. If you, it's everything basically a muscle in a sense, or a work like a muscle. So if it's not being used or whatever, like your creativity, imagination not being used, if you're not tapping into wisdom and you just following everybody else, like yeah, your shit gonna naturally cut off even if you was eating healthy. So it don't just get calcified through physical ways. It can be calcified through thoughts, because your thoughts are energies and frequencies and electromagnetic. So that could also, that lack of electromagnetic or a negative, let's say, magnetic pulse or electric pulse can start to stimulate it the wrong way, to a point where it's not working as efficiently for you. So yeah, it's not just physical ways to calcify your pineal gland, and yeah, so yeah, it's many ways to keep it open. One thing that worked the most for me is taking bluefish skate oil. I got some back there. I took a whole bottle of them. I think it was like 60 the first time, and that was probably like 4 or 5 years ago when I first started waking up, and that's when I had started sun gazing. You can also get pine needle trees, or pine needle leaves. You boil water. Don't boil the leaves, because I forgot what you can get if you boil the leaves. Boil the water, then put the leaves in the water, and then drink that. It's this real lemony flavor. And don't get dead leaves from the pine needle tree. But obviously the reference from pineal, and then the pine needle tree or pine tree is the same. And then if you look at the pine cone, it's the same, as similar to our pineal gland. And then also in the Vatican, they have the pine cone, which is a symbol of the pineal gland. So that's another way, drinking pine needle tea, which you can look on the line. It's not something that's a cult that you can't find. But you look on there, you can find that. And in Texas, there's pine trees everywhere. So all you gotta do is really go out and collect some of those from off the tree. Like I said, don't get dead ones and stuff like that. Don't get dead ones, and don't boil it. Don't boil the leaves in the water. Let the water boil, then pour it, and only do that for a minute, and then take that out. Or drain that, and then that's for you. Put it with some honey, and it's really just like a lemon tea. But that also stimulates the pineal gland as well, and opens the pineal gland. But like I said, blue skate oil, the pineal gland tea, or the pineal leaves tea. What are some other things I use? Sun gazing as well can help you do that. And if you can't sun gaze at first, just do it while the sun going down, and even if you got to do it with your eyes closed, just let that penetrate your eyes. Or even it's just looking in the sky. Some people, honestly, if you just look at the sky, that should make your eyes start crying. But the sun rays are still in the sky, so it's still a form of sun gazing. So just go outside and look up, in a sense, when the sun's out. That could help as well. What are some other things? I was talking about the pineal gland. I don't know what part that you came in on, but talking about the pineal gland and different glands that that can really just help us grow spiritually. And then we was also talking about the can we move more than 10% of our brain, or use more than 10% of our brain, and this what led me to here. But I was just saying different ways that you can open your pineal glands, and you can use pine needle tree, like pine needle tea that comes from the pine tree. You can use bluefish skate oil. You can sun gaze. There's many different ways to sun gaze. You can look up these different methods. There's many different methods how to sun gaze. So don't just listen to the method I gave y'all. It's plenty of different methods. What's some other ways to open a pineal gland? Meditation is another thing. But that's about all I can think of. Y'all can look up how to decalcify the pineal gland. There's millions of YouTube videos on that. And go with what resonates with y'all. Mushrooms and stuff like that helps decalcify it. But I would suggest decalcifying your pineal gland before you get into mushrooms. And then once you get into, once you've already started decalcifying and take mushrooms, it can help decalcify it more. But reason I say that, if you ain't got a decalcified pineal gland, you're gonna be having a lot of toxic type of not all. I ain't gonna say that. Let me not say that. But I rather you. Let's say this: you can have more deeper visions and more deeper imagination. if your pineal gland is open when you start to take mushrooms and stuff like that. But they can also open a pineal gland. But let's go on to the pituitary gland. The master controlling gland, which harnesses all glands. It secretes the most. I'm trying to say they say secret. It secretes most of the hormones that the brain uses to communicate with the other endocrine glands in the body. It produces various hormones that serves to regulate the other endocrine glands. It acts as a thermostat in conjunction with the hypothalamus for the lower endocrine glands that secreting hormones which stimulates them. Okay, blah blah blah. It also maintains balance. The mind tendency towards the subtle by enhancing either the lower or upper glands. The gland control the body, mind functions, and the higher mental, spiritual functions, respectively. A balanced development is considered spiritual advantageous. Yeah, I said that right. Yeah, but these different things, like I said, because a lot of us are not taught about these glands, and if we're only taught from the science or the medical explanation. We're not really taught from the spiritual explanation, so we don't really get the understanding on how to develop these things, either spiritually or through physical, like supplements or stuff like that. But yeah, I easily think if we was to develop these fully, or even if we started from a kid, which we don't all have that luxury anymore, but I think this could lead to us thinking or using more than 10% of our brain. Like, it's just no way. There's no way we couldn't. Like, I think this is when we start to get into superhero territory. When you start really developing these things, but just going back into it, it's just like developing your chakras. You start cutting on these things, and these things start developing to their full, or working to their full production or function. It's the same as the chakras. How I feel about Wayne supporting Trump? It's a funny thing. Like I say, I don't support his social statements that much, but honestly, I feel the same way how black people support Biden. Y'all just pawns to these people that don't care about y'all. They're just pandering to using. That's how I honestly feel. But ultimately, if we just talking about how they in society, I mean, Wayne make a certain amount of money. He not gonna think about the average level of black people. And it's like, who matters more in a sense, or who money matters more, the rich black person or the poor black people? What's gonna help us get out of our situation more? Poor black people having money or rich black people having money? Honestly, like, I don't think neither one would come from voting, but you can't be mad for him picking himself, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like, so I wouldn't have done it, and I wouldn't have told him to do it, but I think all this shit is WWE, honestly. Like, all this shit is just too real to be, too good to be true. Like, or too fake to be true. I don't even know how to explain that shit, but yeah, I don't really look too much into that. Like, it just we just keep repeating ourselves. Like, every year we do this with our celebrities that vote for either side, whether it's the Democrat or Republican, and we crucify one side or not the other. But honestly, it's like, when will we get educated enough to know that these niggas still don't give a fuck about us? That's how I really feel. But the fact that he did it with Trump, and he would have did it with Biden, I would have felt the same way. So, because I just feel like they using us. Either way, either side, they both just using us to push their bullshit. So, and I honestly don't, I'm not invested in either side. So, that's why I feel that way. They really the same bird. Like we always say, same wing, two different wings, but it's the same bird. So it don't matter what side they take it with, them niggas still taking it with that bird, which is the American eagle. And we know how the American eagle is treating us, or have treating us, or the American ego, or America, the image, or what else would I explain it? Just America in general. We know how the motherfuckers treated us, like, and that bird ain't been nice to us. So I'm not invested on either side. But Let's see if I can go back to this. What was I? I'm just flexing. I'm be on for about another 30 minutes, then I'm gonna hop off this thing. But this is the question of the 10%. Do we use 10% of our brain? This was a good question. So shit, we've been on this hoe for a minute, and I probably finish on this hoe because I'm pretty sure something else gonna pop up while I'm reading this in my mind. But the general function of the pituitary gland is controlled by the. Let's see what this means. The hypothalamus. I think that's how you say it. It controls the basic physical desires: hunger, thirst, sleep, and sex. So imagine how underdeveloped that is in us, because we're all subjected to these things. Whether it's a lack of sleep, whether we're thirsty, spiritually or physically, because a lot of people are dehydrated or just don't do the proper things to nourish our body. And we're hungry. A lot of us are hungry, whether it's spiritually, physically, whatever. And then sex, we all know whether people deprived or over sexualized. So imagine how much that gland contributes to these problems, and we wouldn't know why. Because if we develop this shit, a lot of the advertisements and a lot of Hollywood shit that they push to us, it wouldn't hit our minds the same way. A lot of the marketing and the tricks that they do to us, it wouldn't to get us to, like, how do you say, feel these urges, like whether they put red or blue, like they know certain colors stimulate our minds to want to buy shit or to want to eat shit. We'll be able to block those things off because this thing was developed. But the fact that we don't develop this, we try to look to change society, but society gonna always adapt and adjust to use us, whether or not it's for our benefit or not. But if we was to develop this, we could see that bullshit coming from a mile away. And that's when people say they got their third eye on. They be like, man, I see that bullshit. Like, this another eye that you could use to see this shit. But as involved in many of the basic emotions. And a lot of people's emotions are out of check. Imagine why. Because we haven't developed that gland. So we should. I haven't even seen it. I haven't known. Excuse me, I'm speaking too fast. I've never known the powers of this gland. I've heard of it before, but I especially didn't know the spiritual properties or powers of this gland. So I'm gonna look into that more and see how could I develop that, or even where it's located. I don't know none of those things. But it also regulates temperature, blood pressure, the heart, the lungs. Let's see. I'm just trying to find some more spiritual stuff. Yeah, I've heard of hypothalamus. I don't think I'm saying it right, but I've heard of this gland, especially when you talk about blood pressure. Okay, I see something with meditation. Although the hypothalamus is mainly a neural structure, it produces various controlling hormones and may serve a key junction between the neural and the neurotransmitter communication systems. And its control over the pituitary allows it to switch the body on and off, disconnecting it from its conscious awareness for meditation and sleep. So a lot of people that can't really just dive into that meditation, it's probably because these things are popping up or some other physical desires are popping up. Basic physical desires are popping up. So it's hard to meditate because a lot of that shit, whether it's bills or whether it's something that you need to get taken care of, the kids or whatever, your boyfriend, what he doing or what your girlfriend doing, all these different things may pop up. But if you was able to, like I said, develop this, or like they said, I'd be saying like I said, but well, we both said it, I guess. If you develop this neurotransmitter communication, you're able to switch the body on and off, which is disconnected from conscious awareness for meditation and sleep. So a lot of people that can't sleep well is because a lot of times it's stress or a lack of comfortability or a lot of different things. So yeah, man, if you was able to develop that, you're able to do that, go through that meditation and sleep process better, and really focus better too, because this will also lead to a lack of focus in your waking life as well, not just in your sleeping life. But let's see anything else I can find. I don't want to just get too sciencey. The regulation of hunger is in more complaints. The absence of this can cause a complete loss of appetite. And the VMN, a tendency to overeat. So yeah, either way, And we see that in our society. We see those poles. We see either the super skinny or the super big. And a lot of times it's due to our glands not being functional, and we're not taught this shit. We're not taught this shit. So a loss of appetite. A lot of people have a loss of appetite, and then a lot of people overeat. So yeah, if we were able to have these things balanced or working functionally, like we'll be able to balance ourselves out even better. So this even wrap up to talking about balance. Like I forgot the exact question. Balance. Why did I bring up balance earlier? Oh, it was just a question I ended up reading. Like, how do you find balance? Shit, working on shit, even some of your physical aspects. Because if you don't even take care of your physical glands, it'll affect your spirituality, honestly. So, developing your body, working on your body, making sure your body is, what do you call, like, have the proper tune-ups. That's another way to stay balanced. Because if you can't do that, you're going to be overeating and stuff like that. But, shit, I can go on for days because I know about the hippocampus. But let's move. I'm going to go back. Thyroid. And put thyroid glands. Let's see. These glands, along with the pancreas, produce insulin and to control the blood sugar, control the metabolism of the food, and air to produce the body's energy. So this could talk about how when your aura so you ain't no different. I should put broken aura. Oh shit. Right, a whole blunt. Ah, fucking game popped up. Ain't that about a bitch? Okay. This is perfect. This is what I love this shit because this is actually a scientific scan of somebody's aura. Like this is not just something that somebody drawn out before. And then like with people that have lack of meditation and stuff like that, it doesn't surround them fully. It'll be spaces in between these things. Here we go. Like this, you'll see how your aura can easily be penetrated, and then that goes into like if these things are not developed, that could drain you, and then that could lead to these type of things happening because this is you having a lot of energy. This is you being protected. This is you being balanced, and this is the best version of your holistic and the best version of how you can maintain your energy. And if that's not developed and your body's energy is being drained or not being able to produce because these glands are not working, just imagine. And then this is how people die. Let's be real. When these people when they have a bunch of spaces in their aura, this leads to them being inconsistent in life, leads to going through bad situations, walking with no protection, walking with no light in this darkness on this dark ass world. And eventually you can get attacked to a point where you don't have any protection. You have too many holes in your defense. Versus this person, bro, you'll get motherfucking burnt up trying to touch them. You'll get fucking burnt trying to touch them. And then a lot of time, what they're not showing, you can amplify this shit. Like Goku, like Dragon Ball Z, or any other shit that shows you tapping into your emotions. Like Mamba mentality and shit like that. So yeah. That just made me think if you can't produce energy, man, that's another part of this being drained and shit too. And then that goes into when you go in your day-to-day life, you go to work or you going out in life, things affect you a lot more because you easily penetrated. Versus when you whole, you confident, you one within self, you on your purpose, you on your path, you just block that shit because you know it's not a reflection of you. But a lot of times when you open, that shit can make you feel like it's your fault or make you feel guilt or it's a lot of things that happen when it's like this. So yeah, let's move on. Butterfly. This the so this what the throat the throat gland at right here. Okay, so that's like I forgot what chakra that would be. The fifth chakra, throat chakra, communication, self-expression, the truth. Let's see what else, any other correlations I might can get from there. Proper balance in this gland is important for the mind as well as the body. Yeah, if you don't have a proper balance in truth, you fried. Overproduction leads to scattered, unstable thought. Yeah, that's fucked up. Thought, while under production yields apathy and depression. Then it says the thyroid, or a small peak behind each wingtip of the thyroid, and works with calcium and phosphate to maintain bone thickness and strength. These glands affect one's sense of self-worth, and too little secretion leads to the need to bolster one's ego. And then something else was saying when you the hypothalamus. When that's not developed, you start to act like other things because you haven't developed yourself. So once again, that you see how the lack of secretion or production of the thyroid gland can also lead to a fake image being portrayed of yourself, because ego is self. So yeah, these different things could lead to us developing or being way more productive in this society or in life, or for ourselves, and that would make me believe that we're using more than 10% of our brain. Because you gotta think about this, how productive or how you moving through life now. At whatever rate, you got a goal, you got some type of momentum moving for the most part. And if you don't know that, you do. And we're able to do that without knowing a lot of these things and not without developing these things. So imagine if we start to develop these things, how much more productive we'll be. Like literally, there's like, I just remember just getting into my vitamin wave and just taking vitamin shit. It was a vitamin called, I think, Green Go By, or man, it's many different things, but literally it helps you. It helped the mind be more stimulated and be more happy. Like, cause it the gland that it helps, the whatever gland that it helps, it produces that not necessarily just that happiness feeling, but I can't necessarily explain it, but yeah, it's many different vitamins and shit that literally helps with memory, or help with the mind, and being able to stay focused, or being able to produce happiness, or even be up like, man, it's so. And we don't know that shit. We don't know this shit. We just take alcohol. We just smoke weed, and now you see me smoking weed. I'm not saying this. You do what you do, but it's even way more things that we could do on the day to day that could help with that too. Like those other sages that I talk about having, that you already kind of produce for yourself, or those hobbies that you have for yourself. Imagine having hobbies that help develop yourself, and then you also taking supplements, vitamins, or you eating with these different things to help those different things be more productive. So, or help these glands be more productive. So just knowing that shit, bro, we could turn into some beasts, and that's really what we are doing. Because this information is being developed and it's coming out more and more and more. And black people, bro, if you realize black people right now, they on that health wave shit. And they already talk about being woke and shit, but these are just the first stages of this shit. It's going to get way deeper and more complex. I just don't know how long it's going to take. But I've seen like examples of people that was at one point and now at a whole nother level. And yeah, it can happen fast. But like I say, for the masses and whole, I can't answer that question. But I've seen the individual speed of somebody growing happen hella fast. But only one person in this thing. Yeah, I'm about to wrap it up at 12. But I appreciate whoever it was, because there's been one person consistently in this hole. Y'all shout out to y'all. I ain't even put my cash up in this hole, I don't think. But it's just Emeraldbank. If y'all want to send me some donations, man. I don't remember. Before I get up out this hang and wrap this hoe up. Like I said, oh, I forgot to mention old girl while there's a few people in here, but it don't matter. I'm gonna shout her out for the next few episodes. Let's be real. Yeah, shout out to Alyssa Baker, the first person to ever donate to me. I really appreciate that. But my cash app is Emeraldbank. Emerald spelled the regular way and then straight up bank. Go on invest in that Emeraldbank, man. Go on invest in it. But yo, don't be scared to shoot me something. But thymus, let's see, let's move on. Bone marrow, blah 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 blah. Most active in fetal development. It lays down in the immune system after birth. It supports the immune system, but it's not necessary for physical survival. This gland is the main defender of self on the biological level. And I'm sure that goes to a spiritual level as well too. Adrenal gland, adrenal medulla, and the adrenal cortex is the stress hormones. We know this. We know American society, and I'm sure other societies, probably adrenal gland is probably calcified or not producing anything because the stress levels in this society is high as hell. And stress, even in the stress that we have, and we don't know how to use alchemy to manifest that stress into something else, it's just gonna help calcify that adrenal gland even more. But yeah, stress hormones that are secreted by either fight or fight response. The gonads. Shout out to KT, the arts degree. I remember him talking about gonads not too long ago in one of his last live streams with Brother Rich. But he literally grew up with Dr. Sebi, like literally was raised by Dr. Sebi. His parents was, all of them kind of grew up and learned the same kind of shit with Dr. Sebi. Grew up with Dr. Sebi themselves. He been taking shrooms since a toddler and things like that. They put it in his food and things like that. So yeah, his mind is off the Richter scale. That's why I say it's not many examples of finding somebody with more than 10% of their brain. But god damn it, I've seen a few people in mine that's just the shit that they can just pull off the rip. The shit that they're like, they probably ain't forgotten more shit than they could probably even teach because it's so much. It takes so long to teach certain principles, like, and certain people will never even get to that depth. So it's like that shit kind of just stay locked inside of them after a while. But yeah, he's one of those people that definitely uses more than 10% of his brain for big facts. But yeah, I remember talking about the gonads. But check him out, man. He break down movies as well too. That man mind he's one of the ones that's crucial to the spiritual community. The sexual gland, the testes in the men, and the ovaries in the women. But yeah, let's see if I can find anything in here, and that's gonna be about it. Well, look, among the neurotransmitters in the brain are opiates, the endorphins, which help reduce pain and provide pleasure. They have a structurally similarity to the vegetable opiates, opium, morphine, and heroines, etc. And then you can go into other natural things like weed, mushrooms, ayahuasca. There's many different things. Literally everything has DMT in it. The reason we just don't have a psycho, or I forgot what the word for it. The reason we don't hallucinate every time like we eat these different things is because we don't have the other thing that you combine to cut off the thing. If you know about ayahuasca, you have to have ayahuasca mixed with something else to cut off the sensors to be able to feel the DMT. But if not, you won't feel it because we have a natural thing that stops us from hallucinating when we intake DMT. So yeah, knowing that, I forgot why I even said that. Yeah, we intake DMT all the time, and our DMT levels are constantly rising. And it's similar to, like I said, these things here. It appears to serve the purpose of overriding normal pain signals immediate. Yeah, that's about it from here. There wasn't too much more spiritual stuff I could pull from it. But just show the chakras. I'm the undisputed king of the parking lot. But yeah, you can see that it's no different. It's the exact same. But what they want, well, most of the time when we learn about these is, like I said, it's usually just the scientific aspects of these. They never tell us the spiritual aspects of these. So we never really resonate with the information. So therefore we never really build on it and try to develop it. But when we start learning the spiritual understandings and how that shit connected, people start wanting to care about that shit. But the only thing about chakras is certain people believe there's 7, some people believe there's 12, others believe there's like 33. Like that's about it. So you can go as deep as you want with the development of the chakras. Some people, like, it's even chakras outside of you. Like, not all the chakras are inside, and then you can go to ancestors or other versions or other versions of you. And this will go into like the Avatar, the last Airbender, how he was an ancestral line of avatars, and he was basically an accumulation of all of them, along with many other things. But these are all, like, this is a complex chakra system, and like I said, we usually just focus on this one, obviously, and yeah, these few in here. But honestly, it goes so deep. It goes so deep. This is one of the most complex ones I've actually ever seen. I like it. I'm gonna save it. To just you roses. The girl with the tattoo. Trying to see if I can find anything else while I wrap it up. But yeah, this one got 7 chakras, some of them 12. But look, thymus, we're seeing that one. That's the only one that got a scientific term. But they're all dealing with scientific understandings. The third eye, we said pituitary mixed with the third eye. Crown chakra, I forgot what shit. We could call this the hypothalamus if I'm not mistaken. It's a crown, and then we said the master chakra or the master endocrine or whatever. So I think that may be in line with that one, but I'm low key guessing as well. Then we seen this was the Pithyrus, thyroid, and the thyroid gland. What was the throat? Heart chakra, they say thymus already. This another part of the heart chakra. How many is this? 3, 6. That's 8. So this one got 8. Oh. But yeah, you can go crazy with the development of the chakras, but ultimately you're gonna get. It's just like Avatar with the Last Airbender. He first developed, I think, the water. Then he went to air. Then he went to fire. Then earth, or something like that. Whatever order he went to, he developed it all down the path to him becoming the himself, the whole Avatar. And he even had to develop the ethereal chakra. And even more, honestly, it gets deeper than that. They only could put so much on that show, but he developed it along his path and along his spiritual journey until he was able to master all 4 of them, even with the 5th one, like I said, the space one or the ethereal one. So that's the same with these. We're gonna eventually develop all these down the line our path, but it'll even help even more if we understood them before we even got to them or started to read into these things. So we can just help our body and help our spiritual. We can help ourselves along the spiritual journey instead of us going through the cycle 4 or 5 times and then understanding, oh, I'm working on this chakra. Oh, let me try to focus and do it this way instead of trying to do it this way when I was trying to fix that chakra. Because you can't fix all the chakras the same way. You got to go about them a little differently in a sense. Because, I mean, they all have different functions and do different things. So, like what I think they said. Oh, I know this song. But it's the same when they talk about making the sound to do the throat chakra. You can do the sound, I think, to do the chest chakra. It's many different sounds that you can make to do different, to touch different chakras to help open up different chakras. So knowing that, that's the same way of me saying there's different ways to go about fixing these chakras. And a lot of times, if you're already doing these researches, you can get through these life paths or these experiences or lessons quicker than if you was just completely unaware of these things. And I ain't gonna sit up here and say it's gonna make it easy for you, but it can help. So even here with the meditation. So what's this? For the crown chakra, you can see the hand sign that you can do. Then there's also a voice, like I said, you can do, I'm not sure what's the sound you can make, but you can also find the sound to do along with these hand signals, and then along with the different thought processes that to help the crown chakra, like you can help develop them. And then for you, you're going to resonate with what you want to develop the most at this certain time. Like for some people, when they sing the root chakras, like, yeah, I do need to develop my root chakra. Like you're going to resonate with this. Like whether it's your favorite color, whether whatever, like something about these things already resonating with you. Whether it's the hand signal, like, nigga, that's what we do in our gang. Or that's our hand signal for our my school or whatever the fuck. Like something about these shit resonate with you. So that might help you recognize what you need to start working on now, because that's obviously probably what space you're in at the moment, in a sense. Because just how synchronicity works, in a sense. So, yeah, that's a whole nother conversation on how to kind of realize what lessons you're going through by synchronicities. But if your third eye open, you'll see the synchronicities, and then if you observe the synchronicities, if you really observe them thoroughly, then you can start to see where you're at, because it's a reason that you're observing these type of synchronicities. And then you can go into numerology, into numbers and things like that. If you're seeing certain number frequencies a bunch of different times, that can also kind of help as well. But yeah, once again, it's different methods to open different chakras, and then there's also different thoughts and different vitamins, and also different sounds and meditations that you can do to help develop these things. But I wouldn't just get so caught up in like, damn, it's 7 chakras, or damn, it's 13, or damn, it's 44 chakras. Find the one you resonate with, build on that one, and that's going to be your main principle. The one that you're going to work with that's going to be the foundation you start working with at first, and then that's going to help you develop another chakra faster, because you knock down one, now you're building the momentum to get to the next one. And before you know it, once you get halfway through developing 3 or 4 chakras, you kind of gotten used to it. So knocking down the rest of them, it's not going to be easy, but you're going to kind of get the gist of it, in a sense. So don't get caught up in being like, man, I ain't developed 1 chakra, because I know there's people out there, or I'm only on 2 chakras. Or shit, if y'all know Call of Duty, you can prestige and you can develop all these, but then it's like, nah, alright, now it's another whole level I can redo this shit on. If anybody know about prestiging in Call of Duty, you can rank your guns all the way up to 99, and then you can start over and then re-rank up again. So it's like, not only did I rank up once through because it'd be only like 50 ranks or 100 ranks that you can rise up to, and then you can be like, well, shit, I want to redo that again, and then they give you more accolades for doing it twice. Some niggas prestige 5 or 6 times, so that kind of remind me of military shit too. But I don't want to get into the military reference. Even though I brought up Call of Duty, but yeah. So you can develop these things and shit, go through them again, because a lot of times, man, shit, when you go think about your yearly path or your birthday. So when you're 1 year old, that's the 1 year path. When you're 2 years old, that's the 2 year path. Same if you're 11, that's the 2 year. If you're 13, that's the 4 year life cycle. Or I forgot what they describe it as. But you keep doing that. You keep going through 1 through 9 all the way till the 30, when you're in the 20s, you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s, you're in your 60s. So when you're in the 70s, you're in prestige 7 times if you were doing it the right way. A lot of times we were bullshitting a lot of those years, so we didn't get the prestige. So we got to make up in the next set of cycles. We got to catch it later on to start developing it again, unless you're just gonna get behind. But I hope y'all follow me with that. But yeah, we prestige even every 10 years. We start prestiging again, and some people go even harder. Some people can do it even faster than that, but it's the same. Like, you can develop these chakras 2-3 times over, 4 times over, especially depending on how one you are within self and how serious you take self-development. Like, but yeah, that's about it, man. Remind me of Power Rangers and superhero shit. But appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Like I said, thank y'all for liking, or thank y'all for pulling up. Y'all like, y'all subscribe, y'all tune in. I might pull up this weekend depending on how busy I am. But I damn sure pulling up next Tuesday. I'm gonna pull up a little earlier than I did today. See if it make a difference. Cause last time we got a lot more viewers. So I'm gonna see I might even do one in the daytime to see how it works. See what people are doing and up to. But we'll see. But man, y'all looking to Absolutely Unsure, my podcast with my boy D-Friend. Y'all also looking to the Forbidden Fruit podcast. That's straight up just on YouTube. You can just type in the Forbidden Fruit podcast and that'll pop up. Absolutely Unsure, you can find it on SoundCloud, iTunes. You can also find it on YouTube by typing Absolutely Unsure or D-Friend, D-I-F-R-A-N, or you can just look at my playlist. I got a few of them, a few of the videos in there, and then you can find the rest just through that page. But any other plugs? Oh, shout out Duntero. She helped me. She the reason I really even had this whole thing was based off the 10%, and can we develop more than 10%, or are we using more than 10%? And that was the whole reason of me going into this shit. Once you start doing this and start prestiging and working on those glands that I talk about, yeah, you're gonna definitely use more than 10%. But y'all go check her out. She does tarot. She's amazing at it. She's getting even bigger and bigger. Y'all catch her where she at now, cause she gonna be taxing pretty soon. Now I'm playing, but it's gonna be a point where she gonna be too busy. Cause I ain't gonna lie, man, people be blowing her up, man, on the daily for this shit. And yeah, she only gonna get bigger. So y'all catch her while y'all can now. Yeah, man, y'all check her out. But that's about it, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to the Chopped and Screwed question and answers with your boy Emerald Thoughts. Oh man, it's been fun. That's about it, man. This episode was about balance, about developing yourself, and can you develop or use more than 10% of your brain / 10% of yourself. And ultimately the question is yes. When you find balance, when you're holistic, man, that's an easy thing to do. It's gonna start coming through you naturally. Like I said with the last Avatar Airbender, you're gonna start developing those things, especially when you focus on yourself down your path naturally. But yeah, like I said, man, thank y'all for tuning in, bro. It's been fun. It's your boy Emerald. Y'all stay tuned. Deuces.